Well, plenty to get to here on a Football Friday as we gear up for Bills-Patriots. Last night in the Sunday night game, if you went to bed, I went to bed at 28-14, Bucs winning, in control. Tampa was sloppy in this game, and I woke up to a Tampa 29-28 win, which also, by the way, includes one of those spots where a team needs a two-point conversion to tie, and it's better that they did not get it. So Tampa's down 28-20. Atlanta's down 28-20. They scored the touchdown. They're going for two. They don't get it, so they're still down two. They stop the Bucs and go and kick a game-winning field goal. So the Bucs take a big loss. And if you're like me and watching these games against teams the Bills have played, like the Bucs and the Falcons, last night was back and forth 35 different times between, boy, that Atlanta loss looks really bad. I think that Atlanta loss is not that nice. Oh, wait, what? Atlanta? Kirk Cousins threw for 1,000,000 yards. Maybe Atlanta's good, and that Bucs win doesn't look as good as it used to, right? Like, I don't know if anybody else does that, but I was back and forth 20 times on last night's game, how it affects the Bills and how it makes the Bills look. But either way, the Bucs are in a whole world of trouble. Baker was hit and miss in this game, and now the Carolina Panthers are your NFC South division leaders and in a really good spot to potentially make the playoffs. So now, see, the Bills win over the Panthers looks even better, even though that was an Andy Dalton game. So, whatever. How's it all mix in? Just get to the playoffs and we'll see what happens, because that's when we end up telling the story. Part of the news from yesterday was Christian Benford, limited in practice. He popped up on the injury report and was wearing not a full walking boot. Can we call this like a walking shoe? There were tweets of the type of device he was wearing. It was not the full all the way up the leg walking boot, but more of a walking slipper, if I may. I could tweet out the picture. Tom Tibbetts of Channel 7 tweeted out a picture of what it kind of looked like. He was spotted in a walking boot, but I want to call it a walking slipper. And the next update we could get on that is likely going to be from Sean McDermott with Sal Capaccio during the Extra Point Show. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk to Sal about what he might be hearing or expecting regarding Christian Benford, which would be a significant blow. And I'll ask Sal if maybe this could kind of maybe get things moving on the Darius Slay front, if that is completely dead or if, in fact, that could move forward. So that's kind of where we start today. Our phone number is 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550 to join us. As we head into this game with New England, my thought is regarding the defense, especially if Benford is going to miss any time, that it'll be another day where Sean McDermott and Bobby Babbitt really have to kind of hold it together with Scotch tape, masking tape, painter's tape. I mean, they're holding this defense together despite significant injuries and significant limitations. And I know we have our plenty of McDermott critics, and I think there's a lot of valid criticism out there of Sean McDermott over the years. This year, though, man, the defense, it is not the worst in the league. It is kind of in the middle of the pack in a lot of things. It's been a pretty good pass defense, but they've come up with big plays at big times, similar to last year. Last year's defense was built on the big play, and we're kind of back there again where they're built on making a couple of timely stops and giving Josh Allen a chance to win. And as we head into, I know we're still a month away from the postseason, but I know you're all thinking about it. I know I'm thinking about it. How is this going to play out in the postseason? When we look at the AFC, the growing sentiment, our good buddy Nick Wright laid it out. He said basically if Josh Allen does not make the Super Bowl this year, it's a colossal failure. And that might be something you feel as well. Looking at the landscape, if we're only looking at quarterbacks, that probably feels right. Allen, and then the second best quarterback that's going to make the playoffs is likely Drake Maye. He's probably the second best guy they'll play. I don't know who the case would be for the other second best guy. If it's going to be Herbert, if the Chargers make it, or if Mahomes. If Mahomes gets in, the conversation's a little different, but not a lot because the Chiefs look really, really flawed. And I guess who's the pressure on right now? Who's the pressure on for them to do that, to make it? You could say Allen, because these wins and losses and QB wins really come down to that, whether or not the quarterback gets the job done. But this defense has to give them a chance to win. So far, the defense has, in most games this year, given this offense a chance to win. And with the continued injuries and problems they've had there, like it's just a really heavy lift for the defense, given their defensive line situation where it's been a rotating cast of characters. One stat on the defense not the defense. One stat on this team that you might find kind of amazing is that the two teams tied for the most practice squad elevations this year, right? Think about that for a minute. The number of times a team dipped into its practice squad to start a player. There are two teams tied for the lead. It is the Buffalo Bills and the current owners of the number 1 pick, the Giants. You want to make a point about rosters there? You want to make a point about injury luck? It's probably all kind of woven together. But the Bills' number of elevations from practice squad, to me, that probably speaks to things that you didn't plan to do. This is going to be Gabe Davis, Jordan Poyer, Jordan Phillips. Those are 3 guys right there, right off the bat. Fedarian Mathis, right? Like practice squad elevations, Balin Spector. You've had to dip in there more than you probably wanted to coming into the season because of injuries, lack of production, whatever. Like throw that all in the same bucket. They've had to dig deep from a roster standpoint. And to be where they are and to have everyone kind of feeling like they should be thought of as the favorite, I've been saying it for a couple of weeks. I'm going to keep saying it until it actually changes. But McDermott and Bobby Babich, and of course, like Joe Brady's got a good offense. It's got its problems. It's got maybe its shortcomings. But he's running the Josh Allen offense, and so far that's been doing the job the last couple of weeks. So I want to kind of focus more on the defensive side of things. The job they're doing defensively just needs to be getting a lot of attention. Sean McDermott's not going to be any candidate for Coach of the Year, and I think that's probably right. You've got a lot of coaches that are overachieving, which is what that award is for. And when you have Josh Allen and you're in the wild card spot, no one's going to think you're a Coach of the Year candidate. But you kind of have to be honest about it and say, I think looking at it, that they've done a nice job given the hand that they've been dealt. With injuries, with young draft picks hoping to come in, with second-year player. Cole Bishop is like the top of the list here. The guys that have come in and been able to hold this defense together. We probably didn't think Shaq Thompson and Jordan Poyer were going to be the 2 key pieces to holding this defense together, but here we are. Right? It's not gone well for the spine of their defense, Terrell Bernard, Taylor Rapp. But they found the answers, and they coach it up. What's the defensive line look like? No Ed Oliver, injuries up and down that line. I've got practice squad elevations week in and week out. And the last couple weeks, they've had answers to the run problems. Maybe that's just because of Shaq Thompson, who is, again, like a surprise here. So it's Bills Patriots Sunday. I feel good about their chances because of 2 things. And that's number 1, of course, Josh Allen. He's Superman. And number 2 is that so far, more often than not, this defense has at least had a half where the offense can run away with a lead or the offense is able to come back and put it away. Like I guess I've got what McDermott might call complementary football. I don't have the Texans' defense. I certainly don't have the Texans' talent on defense. And if they did, what do you think it would look like? Wouldn't it look a lot like what the Texans are doing? One of the things about the Texans is they don't disguise a lot. They just kind of run out there and show you what they're going to do, and they beat you up. And they're a nasty defense. 2 premier corners, 2 premier pass rushers. They get the job done. And for McDermott, he's got, if Benford's down, it's Tre'Davious White and rookie Max Hairston and Dean Jackson and Taron Johnson. And in the secondary, I got second-year player Cole Bishop and practice squad elevation now to the 53, Jordan Poyer. Like, I'm just holding it together. If they find ways to win games, playoff games, anything, we might end up seeing the Bills make the the Bills make the Super Bowl, which many Bills fans still think is, they're vibing that. I put up a Twitter poll yesterday about that. And McDermott, I think, just deserves a lot of credit from that. 803-0550, the phone number, 1-888-550-2550. Who do you feel the pressure is on here if it's this game individually, or if it's time where you can actually start to look ahead and start to think about, okay, here it comes, another playoff run, another month that will ultimately define how the season went. We remember these games more than we ever remember the lulls and the December dominance, which they've had for years and years. Their record in December is incredible. Among the best in the league, if not the best in the league. They win in December. They win this time of year. And this one's a big one. So give me a call, 803-0550. Who do you got in this game? We got wide open phone lines for you. A lot of time to chat with you. Who do you have? You think they'll get the job done? And what's the key to victory for you? One thing I've got. So I've got something on Drake Maye I want to get into about this game. I was looking for Drake Maye splits. I'm like, what? All right, is there something he's not shown he can do? Is there something he's got to prove? And really all that it is he's got to prove he can keep up in a game that he needs to. They've not scored a bajillion points. They've not had a Bills game against the Rams last year when Allen and the Bills lost, but he went as hard as he could, throwing haymakers, and kept up, and they fall short. After a game like that, you think, like, oh, my quarterback is amazing, even though you lose. And the Bills have had a couple of games like this over the years. In Tampa, a loss. In Philadelphia, in overtime, a loss. Tampa was overtime, too. The Patriots, I don't think they've yet done that. Even if it's in a loss, if it's 38-35 on Sunday, you might come away with the win, Bills fans, and then leave the game thinking, yeah, but that guy just showed, Drake Maye, that guy showed he's going to be able to battle, and these two are going to go toe-to-toe for quite some time. Maye's like, 6 years younger? But he's going to be around. And that's the one thing I shouldn't say one thing. He's got to prove he can win in January. He's got to prove he can win on the road in January. He's got to prove he can come from behind to win games. But there's a lot there. And their roster is, well, it's on its way. I like the Bills in this game. I think they'll be all right. Stopping Drake Maye, though, it's not quite stopping Burrow and Higgins and Chase. But it's a tall task. And the Benford news, I mean, I don't know if you heard, when you heard the Benford news, if you strapped into a fear bunker or what you did, but like Benford out could be potentially, I don't want to say fatal for this defense because the defense has been coming up with answers. But boy, it would be a big blow if he has to miss any time, especially even this game. 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550 to join us. Sal at 7. Maybe the latest on Benford. Maybe an update on Benford from Sean McDermott today. Chris Brown at 8:30. He'll have to call the game from Gillette Stadium. And off we go into week what week is it? It's week 15? Yes, week 15 in the NFL. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. I also think the Patriots could lose to the Dolphins. But that's for week 17. No, 18. That's for week 18. We got time to get there. We're going to start things off with TJ in Ontario. TJ, good morning. Oh, hey, TJ, what's up? Hold on. There you go.
I'm watching this for over 50 years. I'm 77 years old now. I'm telling you, this is the defining moment. Not only win by 2 or 3 points, they have to win by a good margin to get a ticket to the playoff.
Why?
A ticket to the Super Bowl. Why? Because there's so many other teams are just as good or better than the Bills. This is the Bill moment. If they don't win big, I don't think they'll have a ticket to the Super Bowl. Trust me on that. They have a show they can beat this team and beat them decisively. Then I will put my hat on. I'm ready for the Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't know why they would have to win decisively. Like just a win on the road against a team that's won 10 in a row. Like feels like a good win to me. I know the Patriots' schedule is thought of as really light, but they haven't tripped. They've blown out some bad teams along the way. And nobody's blown them out. They blew out Carolina, who's in the lead in the NFC South, 42-13. They blew out that team the week before they came here to beat the Bills. I don't know why they would have to blow out anybody. Like, just find a way. Find a way to win the game, and like that's good enough for me. They blew out the Giants. I mean, I know the Giants had the first pick. The Giants are a team that have been competitive. If the Bills win this game by I guess if you're talking like just perception, sure. If they win by 17, I think the nation will crown them as the AFC favorites if they aren't already that. If they win by 2, the division's alive and they could still have home games. So margin of victory, style points. We've gotten into style points a lot over the years. I don't have many for this one. This roster, this season, these injuries, I don't have style points to give out. A win is a win. And, a win over New England, this spot would be huge. Anthony in New York is up. Hey, Anthony, good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Hey.
If we're going to win Sunday, I think we're going to have to be able to run the ball down their throat.
All right.
We get Cook involved early, tire them out.
Sure. Did you see there's a thing from practice that they've been doing? New England had a number of players in number 4, I think like 2 or 3 running backs, maybe in the practice squad, in number 4 jerseys. Maybe Ben Volen, who we talked to yesterday, tweeted this out. Somebody did. And they were running a drill where they were, guess what? Punching the ball out on James Cook. Like punching the ball out. Aware of his fumbling issues. And it's something we're seeing. You know what? Let me see if I can find something on this. Are there more fumbles than there have been in years past? Or is it just that Twitter, every time there's a peanut punch, there's 10,000 people pointing out that there has been a peanut punch and a fumble? That might be it. But I feel like fumbles might be up, and James Cook, his fumbles are up this year. That's for sure. And the Patriots are focusing on that. Punching the ball on a guy in a number 4 jersey.
I loved that they had the guys wearing 4.
Yeah?
Why did they have to wear number 4? I found that hilarious.
They wear number 4. Don't they wear number 4? Here's a good question. Do they do that so the Bills see that so it gets in their heads?
It has to be some sort of
Why else would you have the guy wear the jersey number?
Right. Do the defenders need to see the number because they're not going to know which guy is James Cook?
Right.
I think they'll figure out who James Cook is.
Right.
It's so funny that they were wearing 4. I saw that this morning and was laughing at
And
myself.
in the portion of practice that you're able to film, it's like, let's go ahead and make sure we're punching the ball loose in the guy in the number 4 jersey while the cameras are here.
Right. They're trying to get it preemptively in Cook's head.
So but does that mean that Cook will focus more on ball security? So that's a bad thing to show? Or does that mean they're going 3D chess? They're trying to talk the Bills into being afraid to give the ball to Cook because...
Right. They're so prepared.
Yes.
We've seen a guy in a 4 jersey this week, and we punched the ball out on him
Yeah.
already.
I don't have the answer to that.
We're ahead.